Hello, dear students. Hope that you all are fine. It's me, Priyanka, from SR Public School, Kota. I welcome you all to this class. Today, we'll read about poem The Secret of the Machines, which is Unit 3, Section A, page number 45 of your textbook. So, let's start today's topic The Secret of the Machines. It's written by Rudyard Kipling. So, we all heard about Rudyard Kipling's famous work, Jungle Book. And we have seen the movie too. We just love that movie, right? He was a famous British author of novels and poetry, and he was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1907. Basically, this poem deals with the problem of modern technology and automation. In the beginning, the poem informed about how machines produced and what kind of treatment they need. Afterwards, the machines explain how they can serve humanity. The poem ends with the statement that machines, although capable of great deeds, are still nothing more than the creation of human brain. Now, let's recite the poem first. We were taken from the obed and the mine, we were melted in the furnace and the pit, we were cast and wrought and hammered to design, we were cut and filed and tooled and gauged to fit. Some water, coil, and oil is all we ask, and the thousand of an inch to give us play. And now, if we'll set us to a task, we'll serve you 4 and 24 hours a day. We can pull and hold and push and lift and drive. We can print and plug and weave and heat and light. We can run and race and swim and fly and dive. We can see and hear and count and read and write. Would you call a friend from half across the world if you'll let us have his name and town and state? You shall see and hear your crackling question hurled across the arc of heaven while you wait. Has he answered? Does he need you at his side? You can start this very evening if you choose and take the Western Ocean in the stride of 70,000 horses and some screws. The boat express is waiting your command. You will find the Mauretania at the quay till her captain turns the lever neath his hand and the monstrous 9 deck cities goes to sea. But remember, please, the law by which we live. We are not built to comprehend a lie. We can neither love nor pity nor forgive. If you make a slip in handling us, you die. We are greater than the people or the kings. Be humble as you crawl beneath our roads. Our touch can alter all created things. We are everything on earth except the gods. Though our smoke may hide the heavens from your eyes, it will vanish and stars will shine again. Because for all our power and weight and size, we are nothing more than children of your brain. So now, in I'm going to explain the poem, and you all have to listen it very carefully. In the first stanza, machines, who's the speaker of the poem? Here in the poem, machines are the speaker. Okay, so in the first stanza, machine, who's the speaker of the poem, are saying that they are obtained from the obed and the mines. Means the ore of metals are obtained from ore bed and mines. After obtaining it, the metals are melted in the furnaces and then designed by casting and hammering. After this, to make these machines fit for work, they were filed, tooled, and gauged. Machine and what they need, they just want three things. They just want some water, coal, and oil, and they are ready to work for us. Machines are saying here that they can work 24 hours for us. Means they can serve us whole day continuously without taking rest. Now in the second stanza, machines speak about their work. They can pull, hold, push, lift, drive, plug, weave, heat, light, run, race, swim, fly, dive, see, hear, count, read, and write. It means machines are more efficient compared with the human being. As we know that one machines can do several man's tasks very fast. Okay, all right. Now in the third stanza, metaphors are used. One example is the arc of heaven. Okay, arc of heaven, which means or which wants to show that the people can communicate over a really long distances through telephones, telegraph, and among all the transport machines like ships. When these machines were invented, it was for the first time possible to communicate over long distances. So, in this stanza, the machines address directly to the reader as the representative of the mankind. Now, in the fourth stanza, poet is talked about the enormousness of machines. Enormousness means the huge kind of machines. So it talked about the enormousness of machines. For example, big ships which have 9 decks. Here one word Mauritania comes. It means it is a high speed luxury passenger ship which is launched in 1906, and it was the world biggest passenger ship at the time. Okay, all right student. Now stanza number 5. In this stanza, the machines ask us to remember that they are operated according to the law of physics. One line is written at the top, but remember please the law by which we live. It denotes that machines are operated according to the law of physics, because machines have no feelings like us. So they never harm us purposefully. Here means machines never harm us purposefully because they are machines, not human being like us. So we have to operate it very carefully. So this can be taken as a warning from the machines. If they are handled in a careless manner, the results can be fatal for us. Thus, they must be operated with the utmost caution. Now, at the last stanza, in the last stanza, machines are agreed to the fact that they are not superior to mankind. Finally, machines are humbly said that they are the only children of the human brain, because they are the product of the creative ideas of the man's brain. So, at the last, machines accept their that they are the children of human beings, because they are the product of creative ideas of human beings. So that it's all about this poem. Hope you all understood the poem. If not, watch it twice, thrice, until you don't understand this. All right, now stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you.